Easter eggs this season that I think hint at a shared universe.
So there's a prize to for the first person who finds it. I just announced that there isn't. It's a £100,000 prize. It's kind of back to OG Black Mirror in a way. All the stories this time round are very sort of tech heavy, and there's some familiar faces reappearing, but also we're sort of delving into topics we haven't really done before. There's some new things, some laughs, some tears, some chills, all the rest of it, and quite a lot of emotion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah. 3, 2.
And action.
They call it mind expanding. It alters your neuronal structure.
That was one episode when we did the first one, pretty much as we were filming the final shot, I was sort of sad to see those characters go. So it literally picks up from where the first story ended. So that's been thrilling to do. It's just nice as well to have returning characters who's because usually in Black Mirror, the characters are like lying on the floor crying at the end.
We've been really excited to get that sequel ready and out into the world.
I've never done a sequel before to a Black Mirror episode. It's the only sequel this season. We do have some characters that people have spotted in the trailer. We've got a couple of characters who've been in the show before who are returning. Again, that was a new thing to do. But that's, again, characters that I sort of fell in love with and just love to write. So
we have to create software that elevates us. Or else, what is the fucking point of the tools at our disposal?
I had never seen anything like it.
There's a lot of Easter eggs this season that I think hint at a shared universe.
Yeah, we've actually, for the first time, we sort of slightly went into it planning a few Easter eggs. So we've got like an Easter egg, a specific thing that's in every single episode. So there's a prize for the first person who finds it. I just announced that there isn't. £100,000 prize. I like to think of it as a shared notional universe in many ways, because you couldn't really plot a timeline of the stories because they would overlap and not make sense. But they sort of share the same dream logic sometimes, yeah.
The mind is a computer. Suddenly, we're not just more receptive. You become a receiver.
In terms of technology, it's actually sort of quite useful. It means that as technology is becoming more sophisticated and more part of everyone's lives, A, there's more sources of inspiration, and B, I think the audience is much more tech literate now than they probably were when the show started 200 years ago. So 200 years in sort of Apple years, that is. Because I think there's certainly some of the stories we've got in this season coming up, that if we'd been doing those in the first season, I probably wouldn't have thought of them, and B, you'd probably have to spend 3/4 of the running time explaining the concept to the viewer, whereas now I think people get a lot of tech things like that.
Humans consider artificial life to be somehow less than them.
Do you have a problem with me?
What?
She was just a bit odd.
And I often psychologically profile people based on which Black Mirror episode they say is their favourite. So mine changes all the time. So sometimes I'll really like an episode like San Junipero that we did, partly because of it represented a change for the show and people took it to heart so much. Other times I like episodes like White Bear because it's so nasty and unpleasant. And then also when we've done something really bizarre, like last season we did Demon 79, which is, again, one of my favourites, a very unusual episode for us. And I would say that there's a lot in the new season as well. I'd say they're all like up there.